Hello there everyone, you know who I am, E.T. Templar, Alien Crusader from Beyond the Heavens, here to entertain and destroy through the power of me magic. So let's take some crack shots at a crack pod. This guy, which we're going to be reacting to, is Brother James Key. He has over 19,000 dipshits just following his outlandish, just end of the world eschatology nonsense. So, here we go. This is from one of his
In
recent
recent months, Pope Francis has once again been speaking of retirement without being firm about his decision. We do not know if or when the Pope may retire.
Brother James Key, I thought you said you were a prophet of God. I thought you said you knew all these things. I mean, you have over 300 videos of outlandish conspiratorial bullshit, and yet you can't guess when Pope Francis may or may not retire? You know, you being a prophet of God, aren't you supposed to just know this, like, off the top of your head? It's kind of weird.
We do not know when another pope will be selected by the cardinals. But I do want to repost this short video that was first posted 4 years ago. Here is why we believe a coming pope must be the false prophet foretold in the Bible. The false prophet is the end times religious leader who promotes the Antichrist as the God-man worthy of the world's worship. The 13th chapter of Revelation describes the false prophet.
Is that what you do, Brother James Key? Do you not proclaim to be a prophet of God? Kind of weird, if you ask me.
Prophet as the beast out of the earth, the second beast. He appears like a lamb, but he speaks the words of the dragon. He causes all lost souls whose names are not written in God's book of life to worship the first beast and the image of that beast, the Antichrist. He also causes these lost souls to receive the mark of the beast in their right hand or in their forehead. The number of the beast is 666. Why? I believe that it absolutely has to be
And why, Brother James Key, can you not upgrade your hardware to where it doesn't look like you're filming yourself on a potato? You've made $9,000 plus off your GoFundMe's. In fact, if you look up Brother James Key, you know what? Let's do that. Watch. Stand to go. Gospel Ministry of Brother James Key. So, of course, goal 2,950, raised 1,800. This could be considered doxing, so let me skip past that. So, supposedly this goes to his church so he can spread his message, yet that I know of, this money doesn't go to any charity, or it doesn't go to upgrading any of his equipment or processes for just improving his quality of content to improve his message. But then again, most people like Brother James Key here are only in it for themselves and money, and they get a weird fetish off of getting gullible idiots to believe them. So he's been raising money for his church and his message for some time, and yet he can't upgrade his hardware. I find this hard to believe, and this is why I'm convinced that there's obviously something going on, because if you're making this money for your church and your message, wouldn't you want a crisper image and better software and a better computer to proclaim your message better? I don't know.
The Pope, who is the false prophet. Again, I don't think it's this Pope. I don't think it's Pope Francis. I think it's going to be a Pope coming in the future, maybe the next Pope. But it's going to be, I believe, a future Pope, and I believe it will be Pope Sixtus VI.
This guy here also said Trump was going to win a second term, which handedly didn't happen. But then again, he had a new prophetic vision, and he corrected it by saying he's going to win in 2024. Isn't it funny how that works? Let's keep going
who
on with
will
this
be the false prophet. Now, many people send me comments saying that they believe that it will be a evangelical preacher, someone maybe in America that will be the false prophet.
Or maybe it's Brother James Key here making money off this heretical horseshit that he's preaching and these outlandish conspiracy theories that he pulls out of his ass. Again, this is a man claiming to be a prophet of God, which should throw up some red flags for you.
I don't believe that, and I'm going to tell you why I believe it has to be the Pope. I believe.
But this is where he's kind of wrong, in my opinion. There are plenty of televangelists that are literally the devil. There are televangelists. Creflo Dollar is one. The Copeland, Mr. and Mrs. Copeland, are another. So there's plenty of false preachers and Christians out there that would be that they are false prophets. And this is a thing where this fool gets everything wrong. This guy here. The spirit of Antichrist can be multiple things and multiple people. It's a spirit. It's an ideology. It's not one person or one man, right? But then again, if you're a reading Bible Christian person, you would know that. But then again, this guy appeals to politically left-leaning, just limp-wristed Christianity, if I can say that. These are Christians who are liberals and leftists that just buy into this crap because it feeds into their political agenda.
We see, of course, already the Roman Catholic Church leading the way in bringing churches together, bringing religions together under one umbrella, making what we know is going to become the one world church in the end times, when all people will be required to worship the beast and take the mark of the beast. There will be a one world religion where everyone is forced to worship the beast. Now, this one world church is being brought together, and that's what, of course, the Pope has been doing all along, saying, let's all come together and have one world religion. Now, here's the thing about the Roman Catholic Church. They will compromise on a lot of things. Some things. They will compromise with other religions.
Here's where he's wrong. The Catholic Church has anathemas, okay? So basically what anathemas are rules by the Catholic Church. You can look this up yourself. That if you break them, you're going straight to the hot box, straight to hell. So for him to say that this is going to happen, that Catholic or that Roman Catholicism is kind of going to like amalgamate with a whole bunch of other religions, just isn't going to happen. For example, one of the anathemas of the Roman Catholic philosophy is if you believe in Jesus Christ and believe in him without the power structure of the church, you go straight to the hot box. You go straight to hell. So that basically means all Protestants. So that isn't going to happen. If Roman Catholicism has all these anathemas, this kind of proves what Brother James Key here is saying is full of bunk.
They will compromise with the Protestants. They will
compromise with the Protestants? No, they won't.
Will compromise with all of the world religions. They're willing to.
Again, they won't, because the Roman Catholic Church has anathemas. So again, kind of falling flat on that one, Brother James Key.
Work with everybody, but there is one requirement. The Roman Catholic Church, which is the biggest religious organization in the world, there is no bigger religious organization. I'm talking about an actual institution, an organization.
I don't think he's correct there. Let's go. Largest organized religion. Okay, Christianity as a whole at 2.382 billion, Islam at 1.907 billion, and 1.161 billion. So Christianity, that's including Baptists, Lutherans, and other variations. I can't imagine that there are more Catholics than Islam. Catholics is 1.2, okay? 1.2 billion Roman Catholics. 1.9 billion is followers of Islam. So he's already wrong on that count. And again, you can look this up for yourself if you so wish. So he's already incorrect in that statement.
That is under one leader, the Pope. There is no bigger religious organization. There are many
Mormonism's pretty freaking big.
Hindus, but they don't have one religious organization. There are many Muslims, but they don't have one religious organization. The Roman Catholics have one religious organization.
And technically, that's not correct either, because they have Opus Dei, and they have various other sects and groups. So again, he's fear-mongering here with the Roman Catholic side of things. But then again, Brother James Key here always needs someone to beat up on and someone to target. And of course, since Trump is out of office, guess who's the next beanbag? Roman Catholic Church, of course.
An institution. And the main doctrine of the Roman Catholic Church is the supremacy of the Pope. His word is considered, when he speaks on matters of faith and morals, his word is considered the word of God.
Oh, hey,
so
you called it.
They believe that they can compromise on many things. They can work with.
That's again incorrect. Like I said, mentioned with the anathemas. So when it comes to that, again, Brother James Key is wholesale wrong.
Many religions. But they can never and will never give up the idea that the Pope is the supreme head of the church.
And again, this is where he's wrong, because I know Catholics that don't like Pope Francis, and they're quite against Pope Francis, and as they would be against a Pope that would want a one-world religion. So again, Brother James Key here is doing his usual stick, where he has a big broad paintbrush and he just paints that shit in one solid coat, because that's all he knows.
Because that is the thing that gives them the ultimate supremacy over every other religion. They're saying that they have the Pope, and the Pope is in the line and succession of the Apostle Peter, and then he is the authority, and they will never compromise on that. They will never give that up.
Never say never. So again, there's Catholics that I know and have known that don't like Pope Francis, and they don't really like the idea of Pope very much. So again, I don't know if this is just Brother James Key being ignorant on purpose, but here's another thing. A lot of people like to punch up at the Pope because there's a lot of anti-Pope opinion out there. So that's how he can grow his subscriber base, get these people who hate on the Pope, which, I mean, again, I'm not a fan of the Pope either, but it still has to be said.
To any group or body, that is the one thing they will never compromise on.
He said that 3 or 4 times now.
They are going to insist, being the largest religious body, the largest religious organization.
Again, we just disproved that by Islam having 1.9 billion.
In the world, they're going to insist.
And he's trying to twist Islam as like to saying it's not one organized body. But again, when we looked up the stats, it said Christianity, and it grouped them all together, regardless of Roman Catholic, Protestant, Baptist, Lutheran, Mormon, and even with Islam. It grouped Shia and Sunni together. And I would count that as separate but similar.
That they are the ones to decide who is the supreme authority.
Okay, get to
and
the point,
that
man.
Has to be the Pope. They will never compromise with these other
Okay, we got it. Hammer that programming in more, dude.
world religions. They will never compromise on that. That will be the one thing where they will not compromise, and they will insist that the Pope has to be the head of the church. And so they will never accept another evangelical leader. I don't care how popular he is. They will never compromise on that one thing. So without question, the Pope will be the supreme religious leader of this final world church. He will be the false prophet spoken of.
Pope Sixtus VI, of course, one of my other friends that we talk about eschatology and philosophical stuff all the time, he believes that's a little on the nose, right? Pope Sixtus the Sixth, 666. And, I said, the devil is deceptive, sneaky, and subtle. The devil wouldn't be that blatant, right? Because what's the old saying? The devil's greatest trick is convincing people that he doesn't exist, right? So that'd be a little on the nose, wouldn't it? That's just dumb.
The beast out of the earth, spoken of in the 13th chapter of Revelation, the beast out of the earth is the false prophet. That will have to be the Pope.
Of course, if you see proof 666 number mark of Antichrist Trump, even though he's not in power, not a religious figure. Weird. And that was it. And if you for the last 3 minutes of that video, he was puppeting the same shit. And this is what he does. This is a form of brainwashing, right? It's a form of conditioning. If you keep saying the same shit over and over and over and over and over, eventually it's going to stick in the people with mashed potato brains. And of course, if you look at Brother James Key's number here, he's at 19,000 subscribers. That's a lot of dumbasses with potato brain. So, if you got a kick out of this video, drop a like. If you're a Brother James Key stan, go ahead and dislike this video. Go ahead. And by all means, leave your shitty comments if you so wish, please. I feed off your negative and like just mashed potato brain comments. And by the way, Brother James Key is a false prophet. So, and he's leading these people straight into hellfire and damnation, and yet these people are going to defend him till Judgment Day, just because he hates Trump. And he's built his whole shtick, all this bullshit, on fake eschatology crap. And again, he's made about $9,000 that I've guesstimated through other donation sites. And as I've proven to you that he has open donations for his church, that he never upgrades equipment or never reveals that he uses that money for charity or religious purposes. So anyways, see you next time. God bless, and watch out for assholes like this guy. So this is the bonus rant section at the end of the video. So there's religious institutions that wouldn't recognize the Pope as their leader or religious leader. They just wouldn't. Islam, the Sikhs, Hindus, and Buddhists just wouldn't ever do that. So Brother James Key is already contradicting himself. He's saying that the Roman Catholics want to create a one-world religion, and yet they won't compromise on Pope Francis or the Pope being the supreme authority, which we've already got a problem, don't we? If there's other religions that don't recognize the Pope, Christians and others that don't recognize him as a religious figure or prophet, how can you have a one-world religion if his authority is not respected or followed? So there you have it. And again, to close this video and to point a few more bullet points, what you see here, this is all produced on my own dime. I never once had to create a GoFundMe or some other bullshit charity website to make money. This has all been out of my own personal pocket. And yeah, I've never once had to ask for donations. So let me just ask, the Brother James Key people out there, why does a prophet of God need money and constant charitable contributions? And why hasn't he been transparent about the money he has received in the past and is receiving money now? Why hasn't he been transparent about that? And why has there been no improvement on his content thus far? Like me or hate me, you have to wonder. And all of his followers, I can say, I'm a false prophet, an antichrist, and a heretic, non-believer. But here's the thing. I've never once said that I was a prophet of God. Because to say that would be pretty heretical in my opinion. I've never once said, follow me, believe me. I'm just putting forward my own opinion out there. And never once in this series of video used scripture to solidify my opinion. Because, again, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not convincing anyone to follow me, nor have I proclaimed to be a prophet of God. So, just saying, who would you trust more? Someone who's upfront and honest, that has built all this off their own sweat and tears? Or are you going to trust a guy who's not transparent about his money, refuses to upgrade his content and quality thereof, and not to be transparent with the charitable contributions he does receive? Just saying. And this guy has 19,000 followers. Which, by the way, guys, I so look forward to receiving every one of your dislikes. Please do that. And please leave an angry comment, because that helps this video rank alongside his. So please do that. Anyways, see you next time. God bless. Stay safe. Watch out. Stay healthy. And see you next time.